Hey tubers, gonna make a video today. I don't feel like making a video. My depression's absolutely kicking my trash. I think that's the best time to get outside and go make a video. Get out of the house and do something different, change it up a little bit. Today we've got this Sears 1500 alternator is what they call it on here. Let's see what's the data sheet here. Model number is 580-320421. Volts is 115 at 13 amps, 1500 watts, single phase, 60 cycles, I'm guessing 60 hertz at 3600 RPM. This Sears and Roebuck. Sears, Roebuck and Company on the side of it. It's got a Tecumseh carburetor on here. I did check the fuel. It was left dry. Hi. It was left dry. There's no fuel in it. I have not tried starting it. I haven't tried anything with it yet. But I have noticed that the throttle doesn't move. Oh, there you go. It's moving a little bit there. So I am unsure of the condition of the carburetor on this. So let's go ahead and pop the bottom of the carburetor off. Just to check it, we're going to tilt it this way. Make sure you guys are still in frame. My Kingdom Verbal flat blade screwdriver. I finally found one. Go ahead and pull this air cleaner off of here. Inspect it, see what it looks like, if there is one in there. There is, and it's actually in really good shape. It's got a nice Tecumseh emblem on there with a part number of 30727. That's 3727. So that's in actually really great shape. That's unchoked, that's choked, good to know. A little bit of varnish down here in the bottom of the carburetor. We're going to go ahead and pop off the bottom of the bowl. Looks like it's going to be probably a 12 millimeter. Nope, it's 11 mil. Cover up my toolbox here. It is raining. If I didn't already say that, or if you couldn't tell. Nope. Really doesn't feel like it wants to move very easily, so I'm going to take it nice and slow. Take it back and forth. Last thing I need to do is break off this bolt in the bottom of the carburetor. And it's starting to free up a little bit there. The way it feels, I'm going to guess there's some varnish in there. Ooh, some white powder coming out. That's a bad sign usually. Go back in with that a little bit. There we go, just free up completely now. About ready to come out anyways. It's a little dirty, not terrible. Not yet anyways. Pull the bowl off. We got some garbage. And seems to be that carb cleaner we sprayed in there. Got some garbage down there in the bottom, but it is moving easily, as you can see with my brushing with my finger. You guys are still recording, right? Yep, you are. So let's see what we can do about getting this thing functional here and started. So this would be the scenario of what's going on is generator, lawnmower, snowblower, anything with this style of carburetor sitting for X amount of time. This has probably been sitting 2-3 years, and you want to go to use it again. You put fuel in it, and you can get it to start but not stay running, or it's hunting, or however you want to play the scenario out. Just plain old won't run right. This is what you got to do to get it to run right. So we got some 4/0 steel wool. Spray it down with some carb cleaner. Gently clean out the inside of the bowl. I do all of my cleaning with 4/0 steel wool. I don't have any fancy tools for that, other than I do have a carburetor soak that I've got. Made by Berryman. You can get it AutoZone. AutoZone. O'Reilly's carries a different brand. That's what my buddy has, and I've used it. I don't like it as much. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Berryman carburetor chem tool. This stuff will last forever. I've had that same single can for probably about 5 years now, 5 or 6 years, and I have cleaned countless amount of carburetors out in it. So this is the mixer screw on the bottom side of the carburetor. I just pulled that out and there's a lot of garbage here. There's going to be usually a tiny little hole somewhere along that part right there. Hopefully that vibrating isn't coming through my phone here. There we go. It won't now. But there's usually a little hole right there. We will look for that here in a second after we clean up the mixer screw here. Yeah. Message after message after message. While I'm cleaning this, make sure you guys take care of yourselves. The world's being crazy right now. Just know you guys aren't alone. There's always somebody there, whether that be over the internet or sitting right next to you. Somebody's always there. Don't listen to the ugly. Focus on the good. Focus on the positive. I have a problem with that myself. We can all get through it. We can do this. So that's pretty cleaned out now. Like I said, there should be a tiny little hole. There is right there. Let's see if I can show that to you. There's a tiny little hole right there. And if that guy is plugged, the engine will not run. So I'm gonna go find something else here. Give me a second. I will be right back. All right, the rain's coming down even harder now. I should have put up my canopy to work underneath, but that's all right. So here's the fanciest piece of kit. I don't know if you guys will have this. Get that little gasket off there. The wire brush. It doesn't matter what wire brush you got, or sewing needle, or whatever you got. You want to pull out one strand. You want to poke it in all the holes, clean them out. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, don't do this. It'll change the size of the jet." You're not drilling it. This isn't a drill. You're not elongating the holes. You're just simply cleaning them out. You're sticking the hole with the little pin just to clean it out. Let's see. This little tiny, there we go. That little tiny hole is hard to get the wire brush into. But we're gonna go ahead and spray that out with some carb cleaner. That little hole actually goes on that side. There's this part and it comes out the bottom and goes through. Kind of interesting setup there. Go ahead and clean that out. I'm gonna take the carb cleaner and that steel wool. I'm gonna clean the outside of this guy. Everything else looks okay. Might clean out inside there a little bit, but you're just gonna clean that off and get this carburetor reassembled. Get that throttle moving freely. Throw some fuel in that. See if we get anything out of it. Yeah. We'll be back in a bit. Alrighty, instead of doing a cutscene to the next part, I might as well just film everything. I know some people don't enjoy the banter, and some people quite enjoy it. So, for those of you who enjoy it, congratulations. You get some banter today. So I just need to see, where's that little gasket? There it is. Put that guy back on there. That bottom of the bowl. Gotta love working in the rain, right? Let's see, the bottom of that's still pretty nasty. Kind of doing just the bare minimum today, trying to get this thing rolling without having to buy a new carburetor or anything like that. And that needle on that carburetor is stuck. I believe so. I can't see it very well because it's still on the engine. Yeah, looks like the needle's even set wrong. See, where's that screwdriver go? I doth lose my screwdriver. There it is. Don't get your steel wool wet. Doesn't like it. Does not like it at all. This is going to be a fun one. That needle is quite stuck. See if we can free up that throttle a little bit. In fact, while we're here, get that freed up. Yep, it's freed up now. It's moving. Let's try starting it with that little bit of carb cleaner I put in there. Poppy pop there. So, we know we've got ignition now. We've got a spark. My long hairs drive me nuts. But thankfully they started opening up salons and barbers and that kind of thing around here recently. We have to wear a face mask when I have something done. Oh, that is really hard to work on when it's still on the engine. Usually I can just pull them apart, clean them out, put them back together again, but I'm having a hard time getting to that other side. Yes, I am using a standard or flat head screwdriver to take out a Phillips head screw. Guess what? It worked. Alright. Replace this guy. There's an indent in the bottom of the carburetor. I always line that up with the pivot of the float. Should have gone all the way around that gasket. The bowl gasket actually looked quite good. It's kind of surprising. I thought it would be all cracked up and nasty, but no, it's actually in great shape. Just snug it. Alright, carburetor's back together. Let's see if we get anything out of this. We're going to leave the air cleaner off it for now. going to put a little bit of B12 Chem Tool fuel injector cleaner. Cleans entire fuel system, gas tank, injector, and intake valves, fuel pump, and carburetors. I've used that for a very long time, ever since I was a little kid. And I was allowed to get stuff like that. Bottles look completely different now, but that's enough for now. Trying to keep the water out of there. Splash a little bit of this in there. Where's the cap? I believe it's in my pocket. It's in my pocket. Let's see, choke. I don't see any fuel flowing though. An old snowmobiler's trick. I don't suggest it at home. That's really interesting. Alright. See if we can get this thing to start. Break my wrist. Oh, you know what? It does help if you turn the fuel line on in the bottom. Oh, look at that. We got fuel flowing now. It just dawned on me. Of course, I'm not going to cut that out. It's a mistake. We all make mistakes. We're human. If we didn't make mistakes, I think it'd be a little weird. Nobody would learn. many of you guys thought that was going to work? I was giving it about a 50-50 chance the way that carburetor was looking. I was getting ready to order up a new carburetor, but hey, that's running. I'm going to go ahead and start this back up off camera. I'm going to shut the fuel off again and let it run out of fuel. That's what you always want to do when you put your generators or anything with the fuel shut off away. What it does is it obviously drains the fuel out of the carburetor and allows the carburetor to sit dry. No fuel, no varnish is going to happen. Though I do use ethanol free in everything. Everything with a carburetor. Four-wheelers, motorcycles, everything with a carburetor. If you can get ethanol free, awesome. A lot of Mavericks are starting to carry it. They call it blue fuel or clear gas. It's ethanol free. Usually 88 octane is the most common, but heck yeah, guys. We got a running, working generator. I'm going to call that good. I did check the oil beforehand. I will be changing it here soon, not knowing how old it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, take care of yourselves. You're not alone. You know, there's a lot more out there. There's a lot to live for. Depression sucks, and you don't necessarily have to look sad or be sad to have depression. It can be hidden and take many forms. So, that being said, got this generator done. This guy, that guy is going to be next. It's an old Onan, probably 1940s, 50s, possibly 60s. I'm not sure of the year yet. But it was an old construction company's. Then it was used for home power backup. And the grandkids got the house. They've been there for, I think, 5 years now. And they wanted that thing gone. I picked it up for practically next to nothing. And it's going to be probably our home backup. I've got one just like that. Came out of a motorhome. But I like how this one is a little more protected, though it is not battery start. So, take care of yourselves, tubers. The world's crazy out there.